Yeah.
Here we go.
Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. Have you ever wondered what to do when you feel hopeless? I don't know about hopeless.
Yeah, I'm going to shut my door. I can hear it already. So,
I'm in a weird mood, and I'm a little bit sleepy.
going back to our Sunday show, we will impact today 3.5 people will have their lives changed
Now
in
for
this single episode.
done.
Yeah, hope. What is hope? It's what is hope? What is hopeless?
Who
Right?
is hope?
Who? What?
What way?
What are you
I
talking
finished
about?
that show, by the way.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Good old hot rod.
Yes. Hello, Marguerite.
So hope, the hope is the trust that things will work out. To have hope, in Latin, hopeless is despair, desperation, desperación, and it means of speed. Which, if you look at the word speed, this is really interesting. Means abundance, riches, wealth, luck, and advancement. Right. So if you're hopeless, you're actually without all of those things in your mind. There's no trust for the future that any of those things will come about for you. So I find that interesting that despair comes from the word speed, which means all those things. I thought of speed as like me driving down the road. Apparently I'm wrong.
That
I'm
too.
speeding means that I'm getting wealthy. It's like, that's what it means originally, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. I have hope. I have trust that this show will end up however it ends up. And it'll either be very impactful in a positive way or be very impactful. Like, what the hell did I just do? Yeah.
There's probably more of that some days.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, so do you get days where you feel hopeless, where you're just like, I don't know if I can keep going, if things are going to work out?
There's some moments, man, and there's been some hard, like some really, really heavy moments. I'm gonna call them heavy, and
Yeah.
maybe dark, I guess, but
Sure.
so I think I think that's probably fairly common or normal for people
Yeah.
to feel those emotions so intense and so heavy and lose some hope, lose some directions. I feel like their legs have been kicked out from under them, or taken out at the knee, kind of a feeling.
Yeah. Wow. That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And when you're going through it, it's hard to see
Yeah.
like the emotions come up, the feelings, the for me, it's like you can't see past the moment
Yeah.
and what good is it? Everything I do is this, or you start saying things that could be possibilities or could be true. I've
Yeah.
found, and I'm not perfect at this because it still happens to me and I still need coaching and I still need people to talk to. But I found when I go through stuff, when stuff comes up for me, I pause and I sit with it for a minute, or I'll go do something.
Yeah.
To like a walk.
Yeah.
Distraction. It's okay to distract for a little bit. To
think that word. I hear that word distraction, distraction, like to get off the track that you're on, in a way, is how I hear it, like to get off that track for a minute. And why not?
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. I interrupted you.
You have just distraction. Ryan Morris is a ...
Yeah.
You guys can fill in the blank. Some of these I might not be able to put on.
Yeah. Wow.
On the show,
I am a lot of things.
I am a lot of things.
Be careful what you leave blank, because you might be surprised at good old Nick Smith. Yeah.
I
Good,
but
good old Nick Smith,
that's what
quote
I do
unquote.
though, is I'll pause and sit with it, and then typically, oh, thank you. I'll sit with it, sit with my emotion for a minute, not too long. That's once I know that if I sit with that too long and start having a pity party and getting others to join on that bus by telling
Mm,
them all the things and posting sad faces and stuff like that on Facebook to try to get people to feel with me,
yeah.
that I'll sit in that, and then a lot of some of the depression, the heavier emotions set
Well,
in.
so you're hitting on something I think is really important, and that is the idea that there's a payoff in every behavior that we have. And so throwing up a post that says, look, I'm feeling really down and sad and unsupported and my life is hard. And people start to pity that. And they come in and they start to say, oh, it's okay. You're so amazing. I'm so sorry you're going through that. We start to just stay in that because the payoff is that people are paying attention and giving us these praises in a way called pity. And
Mm-hmm.
so we stay in that funk. We don't come off of it because we already got paid in a way. And so pay attention to the compensation that you're receiving around your emotions. So one of the things that I think of is to allow it to be, to accept that you're in that space. So if I'm feeling hopeless and despair and I don't see any way out, a lot of times we resist that and we don't want to be in it. So the first step is to accept that's where you are. You are in it. So to deny that is delusional. You are already in it. So to accept it doesn't mean that you agree with it, but the idea is like, this is where I'm at. And so from there, once you accept it, then you go into the space, like JP Morgan says, of allowance or accommodation. Allowance is I can allow space for myself to be in this. Accommodation is I'm going to stay here. This seems like a nice place to build a home because I keep getting these gifts at my door called pity, and I'm going to stay here. So that's accommodation. Is I'm going to this discomfort. I'm going to let it stay here, accommodate it. Whereas allowance is I can give space for it, but it doesn't mean it's permanent. And so in that acceptance, you're accepting that's where you are, and then you go into that space of one of those two. And I would invite you to, like you said, stay there for a minute, distract if you need to, cope in your way of coping, and then re-engage,
Yeah.
like step back in.
The other things that help me in that too is to then, to make some lists of like, it doesn't have to be, it could be physical list. It could be just a
Yeah.
mental checklist of go into space of gratitude.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, find the things that you could be grateful for, as simple as maybe oxygen, a house,
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
job,
Wow.
family, friends,
Health.
sunshine, trees, frogs
Trees.
that you step over at work.
Yeah.
That was a
That
real
was
life story.
random.
That really happened to Nick.
So, I live in an industrial area. There's no frogs, but there were
There
frogs
was yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah. I almost stepped on him.
So
Paying
you never
attention to
know.
the frogs. Yeah. Pay attention to the frogs. They're in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a symbol of transformation, right? Pay attention to the transformation. So, what you just hit on, the gratitude is huge. I noticed that when people have a loss, they'll get into that space of despair for a minute, and then they'll say, well, at least I have this. And that's gratitude. That's a form of gratitude. It's taking the weightiness off of it. Well, at least I have this. And that's gratitude. And then you move into another space of, well, as you move out of that low energy and your brain comes back, then you go into re-engagement.
I like this too, because at least you're feeling at this point.
Yeah.
I think there's a spot where you get beyond
Oh, man.
feeling that could be really, really bad.
Apathy, right? Apathy is probably the lowest emotion, is where you don't feel anything and you
Yeah,
don't even
and
care.
you know what? Be grateful that you can
Yeah.
at least feel still.
Hopeless.
Feel
Yeah.
still.
Feel. Huh. That's Hugh with a silent G. Huh.
I think that might be a Hugh comment. I like
That
that.
might be. We'll see. or that could be huge, Hug, and we'll throw an E on the end. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with Hugh's name. Anyway, yeah, what else? Any other thoughts around that with hopelessness?
That's just I can understand. I can feel and empathize with people that are going through stuff, because we're human. We go through a lot of stuff. Me and Nick talk about it. We have friends. We have business partners. We have family that go through stuff. We're real.
We're humans.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a book yet called Working with Humans. There should be, if there's not. Yeah.
We feel, and so I know that if we're feeling it and going through it at certain times, that others must be at various levels, and we might not understand every level, but we're there with you, and we love you, and know that life happens. Life isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much that's not in your control, and there's decisions by other people that can affect your life. That's going to happen. But those are the times to turn around and remember who you are, who is Ryan Morris, who is Diana Strong, who is Christina McMullen, like these giants that I see popping on here, who is Marguerite, right? It's just, you can.
I'm going to take that a step further, right? Who is all made up. So who you are, the story that you're telling of who you are is all made up. So if you have this story of despair and hopelessness and it pays off for you to share that, and that's the story you're telling, you could also tell the story that, you know what, I'm strong. I can work through anything. I'm powerful. I am a giant. And you can also tell that story. So pay attention to where you want the payoff, because you will get a payoff by your story. And so please don't stay stuck in pity, and it's not that you can't have it. The book of Hugh, it's a huge book of Hugh, of Hughisms. So yeah, really, really pay attention to that. Is what's my payoff in this behavior that I'm having around hopelessness? And to feel hopeless is human. You're going to feel it. So to stay there is a choice and a story. So you don't have to stay there. I know people that are grieving, that have grieved serious losses, amazing losses. Doesn't discount your loss, but to stay there is a choice. I think of Amy Bingham talking about her son who took his life, right? There could be a chance to stay in pity around that. And she chooses not to. And she grieved, and she moved past it to the point that she has no grief over the loss of her son. Not in a delusional way. She has moved past it and through it to the point that she is engaged with life. And so that's powerful. That's a choice.
Yeah. I like what Diana said about the low energy. Like, I think that there's opportunity for growth inside of there, for the regeneration, for the there's a point where you can start to heal inside of that, or not. You could choose not to.
I would imagine a tadpole feels some really low energy as it transforms into a frog. I would imagine a caterpillar feels pretty hopeless when it turns to mush inside of a chrysalis, and it's like, oh shit, I got to put this all back together.
I just went to mush.
It's like, oh, well, I guess I should do something from mush. And so, yeah, if you were to open a chrysalis, you would see this mushy thing in there. Our lives can turn to mush. So now what? Reengage. You can do this. You are powerful. Tell the story of your power. Have people see that. Have them pay and compensate you for that.
Yeah. And make it a giant day.
I love it. Okay, guys. Thanks for being on. We love you. Ryan loves you. I know that.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next video.